First tonight, spying on our neighbours, secret police files, government hit lists, automatic jail sentences. It all sounds like Nazi Germany, certainly not 21st century Adelaide. But that's what could be in store if the Rand government's current anti-Bikie laws pass through Parliament. And while we would all like to rid our society of organised crime gangs, are we putting too much power in our politicians' hands? Sharon Smith with some answers.
We are going to harass outlaw bikie gangs.
We will grind them down. We will dismantle and disrupt their operations.
It removes too many rights. It takes too many presumptions. You are presumed guilty. You have to prove yourself innocent. This is the first I know of.
It does have a kind of a secretive notion to it.
These guys and gals are enjoying a pleasant Sunday ride. Look closely and you might find a chiropractor, finance manager, software engineer, even an off-duty police officer in their midst.
It's just completely different to a car. You can smell the smells, you smell the flowers, the food, you get the fresh air in your face.
Only a biker understands why a dog sticks his face out the window, so that's the reason.
While they might look harmless enough, they're members of the Motorcycle Riders Association, and congregating like this might put them on the wrong side of the law if the proposed Bikie bill gets passed.
You can't just lump everybody into the same category just because they ride a motorbike.
So you got to sit outside and have your Christmas lunch in the car while everybody's in the house. You know, it's that sort of stupidity.
Our organisation is worried, as we are suggesting every other organisation should be worried.
Paul Kuhn is the MRA's road safety officer. He's a former law student, and what he's seen in the Bikie bill frightens him.
This is worse than frightening. This is the first step to a Stasi regime or a pre-Hitler Third Reich situation. Now, after this comes the ban on free speech. The next one comes the ban on what the children are being taught at school.
This is what these sorts of laws can do, is turn us into a police state.
George Mancini from the Civil Liberties Council is worried too. And what about this get-together? There'd be endangered species under the Bikies bill. That's because the bill would make it illegal to associate on more than 6 occasions with anyone who belongs to a group outlawed by the government. And the annual MRA toy run is open to anyone, regardless of their background.
So we accept that, and we know that these people are coming along and may in fact have prior criminal convictions, and that is not of our concern. But under this Act, it becomes our concern because now anybody who associates with anybody, even if you're not aware that that person has it, but you have a reasonable expectation that they have it, that would be called recklessness under this Act. Now, we had 25,000 people there last year. In essence, 25,000 people should now be arrested and charged under this Act if this Act was to go through.
And the penalty? An automatic jail term. Even more troubling is the removal of several other fundamental rights under the bill. Freedom of association. Innocent until proven guilty. Proof beyond reasonable doubt.
All these basic principles would go under this bill?
They are gone.
You won't be able to have access to the courts in this case in the traditional way because a control order is made, the person can't challenge it properly, can't say that's wrong, your information is wrong, the intelligence that the police have used to get that order is secret and can't be accessed.
And if you want a further example of how easily the innocent could fall foul of this law, try this. Last year we told you about radio veteran KG Cunningham's unwitting brush with a notorious bikie organisation. KG got into strife after reading some radio ads as a favour for a friend and wound up owning shares in a company linked to Hells Angels boss Fred Chaptini.
How do you feel about it now that you know his background?
Oh, I'm fine. You know, as I said, I take people on face value, Frank, and what they do in their personal life has nothing whatsoever to do with me.
Related correspondence, phone calls and his presence at a barbecue also attended by Chaptini would easily have put him over the limit of 6 contacts a year under this bill.
I've done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. I haven't cheated anybody. I haven't taken anybody down. I haven't hurt anybody.
But it gets worse. Another objection to this bill is the removal of double jeopardy. Simply put, it means you can also be charged with the same crime twice.
So you can be jailed up for 5 years for associating with someone else because you have already spent time in jail. Now, the only real offence here is the fact that you've already been to jail. I see that as a double jeopardy situation.
Once you've done your time and you got to get on with your life, and you do get on with your life, why should you have to be punished again?
So who's going to be doing the policing work if this bill becomes law?
We can certainly see that idea of public surveillance using volunteer force gives this bill the teeth that it will need to provide the 6 occasions, for instance, of criminal association. How could the police know that? So this is how it's obviously, well, it appears to us to be obvious that this is how it will be done.
So I'd be very concerned that not only may this not have the desired effect for the government, that is, to break motorcycle gangs and outlaw motorcycle activities, but it may even have the effect of driving people away who otherwise would have provided information from the inside.
Rick Saar is a professor of law and criminal justice at the University of South Australia. He's worried about who's going to collect and keep this secret information.
There's going to have to be some files. There's going to have to be someone counting those 6 associations. There's going to have to be someone who's looking at those SMS text messages, those phone calls, the photographs that might be taken by one of the volunteers with his or her binoculars and telephoto lens.
All that might sound far-fetched, but that kind of thing did happen in South Australia less than a generation ago, when Don Dunstan sacked then Police Commissioner Harold Salisbury for keeping secret files.
Are we going down that track again? It looks like the 1970s revisited. So while I don't think the police will be arresting a whole bunch of innocent people and putting us all at risk, I am concerned that there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be collected somewhere.
But these aren't the only ones concerned about this bill. So far, the Democrats, the Greens, legal groups the Law Society and Bar Association, the Victims' Rights Commissioner, the Aboriginal Sobriety Group and the South Australian Council of Social Service, or SACOS, have all spoken out. There are 37,500 registered motorcycles in South Australia and an estimated 300 or so bikies who ride with outlaw motorcycle gangs. Of those, it's claimed that only about 30 or so are serious criminals.
There's no evidence, of course, that this will actually have any effect at all. So I'm concerned that it might be a sledgehammer to crack a nut, yes.
The bill is actually called the Serious and Organised Crime Control Bill of 2007, but nowhere in it are the words bikie, motorcycle or outlaw even mentioned.
It's going to lead to potential abuse, or it's going to lead to false information being used against people.
As the MRA, we actually support the government get tough on crime stance. That is not the question here. We support that 100%. What we are not supporting is the way they're going about it with this particular bill.